Hello, hello, hello. How you doing, Virgo? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday, April the 6th, 2025. Listen, it's an amazing day today. I went on live this morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, excuse me, because the world is awakening. They are sounding off the bells across the world. A new energy, a new shift. The old world is gone. I love you guys. I left that video up for everybody to watch that. It's 4 hours, but it's amazing. You'll be able to get that frequency off of there, and it's a lot. And it was just beautiful that so many people was in the room. Absolutely amazing. So I feel like what Spirit Guys God is saying, because of your obedience, because of your obedience, because of your obedience, all your wishes is about to be granted, Virgo. Because your obedience is something that you did. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everybody, my beautiful souls. I love you guys. It's something that you did that you were obedient about. Now, for everybody, please take what resonate, reverse the roles, how they fit in your life. For some of you, it's going to be different what I'm talking about. Everybody going to have a different story. But it's something that you did that you was obedient about. And your wish granted. Yes. The emperor, control, authority, boss energy. Yeah. Talk to me, Spirit, for Virgo. Spirit guys, I need clarity, understanding. Most of all, I need your protection. Something you were obedient about, Virgo. You got the lovers in the reverse, okay? So some of you obedient about leaving somebody alone, letting somebody go, getting them out of your energy. Yeah, letting them go. I feel like whatever this is, whoever this is, you finally let go of control. You let it go. I feel as though that whoever I'm talking to, that you were holding on really tight to someone, trying to make something happen that it was not in the cards. So you finally let go of a lover. You finally let go of control and let go of somebody, Virgo. Because you were holding on to somebody that did not love you. Yeah, there was no stableness there. The King of Pentacles in the reverse, no stability, no foundation there. But you were holding on to something because you was holding on real tight to someone that you loved, and that you was in a relationship, a connection, a situation, whatever you was. You finally let go of someone that it was no stability there. You realize there's no foundation with the King of Pentacles in the reverse. You finally let go. You finally became obedient to what God or Spirit guides or whoever your higher soul's been trying to tell you, to let go of this person, to let go of this situation, because the situation was only continuously to do you harm. Because of your obedience. I feel like whoever you are, whoever I'm talking to, you held on really tight to this connection. You held on really tight. And you finally let it go. Tell me more, Spirit. Yeah, you finally said what you had to say. You finally communicated and let it go with the communication here. Some of you may have ended finally let go of somebody that you were in some type of long distance connection with, or you finally said what you had to say. You finally, like, Yeah. Finally said what you had to say. You lost patience. You finally, I feel like whoever you are, you finally got off of your chest what you needed to say. You finally made up your mind. You finally got off your chest what you needed to say. And you said it with authority. And it's like, I'm done. I'm done holding on to something. Or I feel like you could have said, I'm done holding on to something that don't want to be held on to. See, you got the Temperance in the reverse, clarifying the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. You got tired of holding on. You got tired of holding on. Yeah. You got tired of holding on to this Gemini, to this Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Why did I say that? To this Gemini, okay, could have been an Aries, Leo, but to this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Earth sign, Taurus, um, Virgo, Capricorn. You got tired of holding on. You finally said, I can't do this no more. You finally really, when I tell you, when Spirit keeps showing me this Four of Pentacles in the reverse, you finally really let go and you got tired. Because you realize that, yeah, you were very successful at this. You finally spoke your mind. You finally did what you had to do. You finally succeeded at dropping. Okay, Spirit said dropping somebody, letting somebody go. No matter how hard or how much you love this person, you was not getting any results from the situation. You finally successfully let it go, and you said what it is that you wanted to say. Okay. You let it out. You were angry, you let it out. Yeah, look at that. Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, along with the Death card in the upright. You finally let go of somebody and you ended it. Yeah, you finally let go. Yeah. You let go of this. You got tired of holding on to someone. Yeah, look at that. Ten of Swords, Ten of Wands in the reverse. You got tired of holding on to this burden. You got tired of holding on to somebody that didn't want to be held on to. You got tired of it. You spoke your mind successfully. You finally got off of your chest what you had to say and you walked away. You ended it. For some of you, this could be a job, but I'm really picking up on a situation. You finally, yeah, it was heartbreaking. You got tired of it. You released this. You got tired of this pain, holding, being, going through this pain. You could have been married to this person. If you wasn't married, you lived up in the same roof. If not, this was a situationship. Please, everybody, come in and take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. Reverse the roles, how they fit in your life. But you said, I gotta go. Death, I gotta go. I'm done. I feel like with this Temperance in the reverse, that was it. That right there. Whatever happened, whatever you finally did, I feel like whatever you was holding on to, God said you were you finally was obedient to what Spirit God been wanting you to do, is let somebody go. Because you've been holding on to it, trying to control it, control the outcome of it, until you finally said, I'm done. I release it. I let it go. No more holding on tight to it. It don't want to be held on. It was causing you a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. I really pick up the energy that you said it was exhausting. It was exhausting. It was taking you down there. It was taking you down there with the Ten of Swords in the upright. I mean, in the reverse, let me know that This situation, you hit rock bottom with it. It exhausted you. You went through a lot, and you finally was obedient. You finally let go, and it came out in the reverse. Now, remember, everybody's on different timelines. For some of you, this already happened. For some of you, you're going through this now. For some of you, this is coming up in the near future that you finally let go of this situation because it caused you a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. And I feel as though the reason why it was causing you so much hurt and pain, Virgo, is because you was holding on, whether this was you holding on to someone's energy, holding on to this person, trying to, almost like force this person to stay with you or just wanting to control the situation. I feel like where it comes from is that you realize that the more you was holding on, the worse it was getting. Yeah. The more you was holding on, you was not getting the feedback. There was no reciprocity. The more you was doing, it was not being reciprocated to you. With the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, it's like this person was not putting the work in. This person was not doing what you was doing. They were not. You were obedient. I feel like there is a blessing. There is spirit is saying because of your obedience, there is something beautiful is about to happen for you, Virgo. Something is coming into your life. Yeah. Got plans, deciding to go on your own path. Look at that. Plans. You made a decision to take a different path, you finally was obedient. And because of your obedience, the 1111 is here. For some of you, 1111 can be very, very significant. Yeah, you made that move. You made that move. You made that move. And now you're about to move right over to calmer waters. For some of you, this can mean a house, conquering, 1111, abundance. Wherever you're going, you're moving over. You finally let this go. You finally let go of the control of this situation. Yeah, you made your mind up. It caused you a lot of pain. Now you are on your path of destiny. Good luck, good fortune, blessings. Spirit guides God is saying because of your obedience. Because of your obedience, you finally got away from a narcissist. Because of your obedience is why the wheel of fortune is here. Good luck, good fortune, destiny, things going in your favor, things working out for you, things happening for you. All those beautiful things because of your obedience, Virgo. You gained a lot of wisdom. Look at that. You gained a lot of wisdom. You made a decision to go on your own path. You finally left the situation. You finally made up your mind, and you finally, like Spirit God's like, how many times I had to bang you in the head for you to leave this situation? That's what Spirit God's, yeah, it's like you were stuck. You were stuck. I feel like whoever you are that's listening to me, you were actually disconnected from this person, but you just didn't remove your body from him, from her, however it goes in your life. You were really disconnected. You were really cold with this person. But for some of you, if you live with this person, it's like you was just there because for some reason you felt like if this person do better, you deserve to be with this person because you've been here a long time and they need to do right by you. And then you start realizing that this ain't meant for me. This ain't meant for me. So you was already disconnected when you was with this person. You just had to remove yourself consciously. You had to remove yourself physically from the atmosphere. And you finally did. And Spirit guys, Spirit said you hard-headed. Spirit been telling you this 10 months ago. 10 months ago, Spirit. 10 months ago, 10 years ago, between 1 to 10 years ago, 10 months is very significant. Ben told you to do this a long time ago. Whoever you are, you're supposed to have done this a long time ago. I feel like you delayed yourself from abundance, from fruitfulness, from things going towards you. You delayed yourself because you was holding on to somebody that did not deserve to be held on to. Yeah. Took some of you 8 months, 8 years, 1 to 8 years to walk away. You should have been gone a long time ago. You said, I'm tired of being a fool. Look at that. I can't make this up. You were holding on to... I feel like what Spirit is telling me, Virgo, you were holding on to the memories of being with this person. Because you were disconnected after a while, but you was just holding on to the memories. And sometimes we can really stay there because of guilt, holding on to the memories, or feel like, oh God, if I leave, he might do better or she might do better. And then what about me? I was there the whole time. When in fact, you being there was not where you supposed to have been. I feel like you finally got pushed to your level. You finally got pushed to the edge. Don't push me because I'm close to the edge. I'm about to lose my head. Sometimes I wonder if it keep me from going under. So I feel like that you finally was pushed almost over the edge. I said, that is it. You said, no more. No more. You finally walked away. Now you're on your own path of good luck, good fortune. You got plans. I got plans, Miss Paul's thoughts and energy. I got plans. Virgo, you showed up in your own reading. You put your thinking cap on. You started thinking because that's what you do. Virgos overanalyze and think, and you figured it out. But it took you a long time because you're hard-headed. And I feel like what Spirit is saying, because some of you just big overthinkers. And it took you a long time to get to this point because look at you. You were stuck in your head. You gained the wisdom because the hermit, the hangman is right here with a light bulb. You gained a lot of wisdom, but you just would not move. Your body was there. You knew what you wanted to do, but you didn't put it into action. So you prolonged your life. You delayed your own life because you was trying to stay with somebody or stay in a situation or stay at a job or whatever because you just felt like, you was holding on to the memories. You was holding on to the good times instead of looking at the bad times was outweighing the good times. So start looking at the person was not good for you, and you was only what kept you there in your mind. You were cold, but you were still there. You were disconnected, but you were still there. But what kept you there was because of the good memories. You was only holding on to those good times, but in fact, the bad memories was what you should have been looking at in order that you should have left a long time ago. But for some of you, you said, I'm done. I'm walking away. I'm tired of being your fool. Okay? I got plans for myself. For some of you, you finally left and you on the wheel of fortune. You finally did it. Spirit God, I give you a Spirit God. Spirit God said, my God, why did it take you so long? You delayed yourself from a lot of good things happening for you. That's all I can hear Spirit is saying. Why did it take you so long? Why did you wait so long to leave this person? Spirit saying, I gave you the signs a long time ago to go. And you finally moved away. And like I said, I feel like it's because you was holding on to the good memories and not looking at what was destroying you in the memories of this person. You was looking at the good and not realizing that the bad, what was killing you. The good was keeping you sustained, that you was trying to keep the hope, the faith, because the good. But when naturality. It was the bad that destroyed you. In other words, the bad is what overruled the good. But you overanalyzed it and overthought it so long that you was using the good to give you ammunition, to give you that that holding on power to control the situation. And all I can hear Spirit Guides God say, what took you so long? So whoever you are, under the sound of my voice, whoever you are, Spirit Guides God said you finally obeyed. You finally, because of your obedience. It took a long time. Spirit been right there. It took a while for you to come to this obedience. He said, but you finally obedient. What is, I can just hear Spirit saying just loud, okay, what took you so long? Why are you wasting? What? You delayed your life that you could have had so much more by now. By now. And whatever that is in y'all's life. Everybody on different timeline. Take what resonate. It took you a long time. What took you so long? You finally here. Thank you for the obedience. I'm glad you finally got obedient and understood the assignment. What took so long? And now you're in the energy of celebrating the Three of Cups. Yeah, you were stuck and stagnant for a minute. Your lack of determination, I feel like that's what the card is saying. The lack of direction. Okay, that makes sense. You was overthinking. You was trying to figure out a plan. You was trying to figure out which way should you go, and you delayed yourself with the Hangman here. You delayed yourself. You could have spirit saying you could have been further, way further now. You had to do some Four of Swords, some self-reflection. You had to really go into thinking mode with this Hangman. Like I say, overthinking, right? You got the Hangman, you got different cards here, right? You got the Hangman here, you got the Hangman here. Okay. A lot of thinking, thinking about the situation, doing a lot of reflection, a lot of resting, a lot of reflection, a lot of self-reflection, and you study long, you study wrong, and you just was holding on to the good. You was justifying the good to stay in the bad. My God. That was heavy. You was justifying the good to stay in the bed. You were looking at the good instead of actually looking at the situation, the big picture itself. So you went in overthinking mode. And for years, for some of you, you supposed to been gone 5 years ago. For some of you, supposed to been gone. Okay? Some of you supposed to been gone. I feel like now you're celebrating. For some of you, you're celebrating. You're on your own wheel. You're on your own path. Finally, you're going towards your destiny. But it took some years. It's like you slowed your own timeline down. Is what Spirit is telling me. Some of you could have been had a house. Some of you could have been conquered something. Some of you could have been met your soulmate. But you prolonged it by holding on to the good that you had with this situation, instead of looking at the big picture, which was the bad. Because the bad is what outweighed the good. Which you was justifying until you finally said, I'm done. And you finally walked away. You let go of the control with the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. You let go of the control of the situation. And when you let go of the control of the situation and move over to calmer waters, whew, don't it take a big relief off your back? Look at that, Two of Wands again. You say, now I got plans for my life. You finally say, I got plans. I got plans for my life. Now I know where I'm headed. Now I can see. Now I know where I'm going. Now you know where you're going. You didn't know where you were going when you was in it because you were blinded by love. That's why you could never get the right direction, the right clarity for where you were headed, because you were blinded in love. You were asking for the direction, but you were blind at the same time. And when you're blind and you're asking God for direction, God can have it in your face, but you don't see it because your eyes are covered. You were blinded. You were asking for directions, but you were blinded when God showed it to you. You didn't see it. You didn't see it because you were blinded to love, because you only was concentrating on the good out of the relationship, out of the connection, instead of focusing on the true big picture. There was no reciprocity, and there was a lot of hurt and pain. But you was justifying the good and overlooking the bad. And a lot of people do that today. They stay in connections that they should have been gone a long time ago. That a lot of times we hold our own self back because we're justifying their good. They're justifying the good and not looking at the bad and not looking at the big picture. That this person caused a lot of pain in your life. A lot of pain. A lot. But you got the strength up. You got the strength, the courage, okay, the confidence. You got the inner power. And you said, I'm done. I'm done. You finally said, I'm done. I feel like you said, God, you're right. I can't do this by myself. I got to get out of this. You said, God, Spirit guides God. I understand the assignment. I'm done. This right here pushed me over the limit. Whatever happened last, it pushed you over the limit. Yeah. Tell me more, Spirit, for Virgo. Thank you. Page of Cups. Yeah, I feel like you had your head in the clouds. You was looking at the good instead of the big picture of the bad, or how this person was treating. But you was holding control, because it's like, well, we do have good times, and you just held on to it with your hands. If this Four of Pentacles was the Four of Pentacles, this is what you used to be like. You was holding on to the good because you didn't want nobody to grab that good. But in fact, the person was bringing in bad, but you was holding on to the good when the bad was destroying you. Then one day, the card came out in the reverse. You said, I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, you became yourself. You started to nurture yourself, and you started to just gain a lot of wisdom, and you was really overthinking, say, you know what, this don't make no sense to me. And that's how Virgos are. A lot of Virgos, a lot of us overthink things until we come up with a solution. And it took you a while. You put your own self back in delay by overthinking. Until one day you realize that you are an empress. One day you realize you are in fact a divine feminine or divine masculine. However it goes in your life. You realize what your worth is. And you had to nourish yourself back to health in order to get out of this. Learning who you are. Knowing who you are. Now you're in the Four of Wands, double confirmation. Four of Wands right here again, double confirmation. You literally put your life on hold by allowing this person, or by allowing yourself to be blinded by love. You gave your own self a reset. I mean, not a reset, you gave your own self a setback by delaying yourself, by holding on to something that had been expired a long time ago. For some of you, this could have been a marriage you was in. If you wasn't in a marriage, it's somebody that you just slept with, or somebody you lived up under the same roof together. But I feel like you're in the Wheel of Fortune now, Virgo. Finally, you let go of something. Finally, you was obedient. Finally, you was obedient. Spirit guys, all I can hear God saying, what took you so long? And I feel like you're saying, I feel like Spirit is telling me that you were You were, in fact, blinded by love. That's what took you so long. Took you so long because you was holding on to the good. You was justifying the good and not looking at the bad. And that delayed your life. That delayed you. It's your time now, Virgo. It's your time. It's your time to shine and be all Creator has created you to be. Seize the day. It's your time now. You finally obeyed Spirit God's guide. Spirit, all I can hear Spirit is saying that you were hard-headed. You were hard-headed. And it's time for you to be yourself. You were hard-headed, Virgo. Be yourself. Everyone else is taking. You deserve the best. Know your worth. You realize I got to be myself. You gain the strength, the power within you. And now you are growing. You are blossoming. You're on your own path. You're on the wheel of fortune. You finally got plans for your life. You finally released this stress, this burden. Some of you about to get married. Some of you, I see marriage in the forecast. I see a lot of you getting a house. You're getting your own. You're conquering, going back to school, doing a whole lot of things that you delayed your own blessings. Something to think about, ain't it? You delayed your blessings. Spirit is saying, make sure you're meditating. Choose to meditate on good things, because whatever you choose to contemplate on the most is what the universe will give you. So make sure when you meditating on good things. When you're overthinking in that overthink, that's what Spirit gonna bring it to you. That's why a lot of times when you overthink, Virgos, it takes you a long time to understand what it is that you're trying to analyze and trying to departmentalize and try to make it make sense, when the whole time you really setting yourself back where you should have been at. You cause yourself your own self a setback. Responsibility, matureness, baggage popped right out. Baggage popped right out, Virgo. And it says, resist being weighed down by the guilt and the shame of the past. The past is exactly what it is, the past. So unpack and begin your healing. Start life anew and stop dragging the old into the new. I feel like you delayed your own blessings. You kept holding on to something that you should have let go a long time ago. You was holding on to the good when actually the bad, what was damaging you, because you were blinded by love. Yeah, absolutely. You were blinded by love. Today at the bottom. Ooh, okay. Okay. Feminine energy behind that. Today, feminine energy. Okay. Good vibes. Now living in the moment, celebrating, living in the moment. That card behind that is feminine energy, gentleness, nourishing. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Finally got your life back. Now, yeah, finally secured. Look at that. Stability, got your life back. You had your life on hold. You delayed yourself from toxicity. From toxicity, drama, you delayed your own blessings. Yeah. And you did. You finally obeyed what Spirit God has been getting you to get you to see years, a long time ago. You finally obeyed Spirit God. And now your life, you're about to see a change in your life for the better. Now you are finally on your path of beautifulness, abundance, healthiness, peace, joy. Now you're on your own path. You're on the wheel of fortune, destined. Now you're where you're supposed to be. Okay? You're supposed to be in there. Spirit said 10 years ago, 5 to 10 years ago. But it's all right. You're here now. Carry on. Until next time.